We are 11 weeks out from the HCA Marathon and training is moving forward. I'm especially happy to see that training is moving the right direction because this is my first time coaching myself towards a full marathon. One of the key factors that I attribute to training going the right way is my diet. I believe that good nutrition most of the time is especially important in seeing training going the right direction. I'm therefore going to show you what I eat in a full day on a typical session day. And tomorrow we have a session that includes 4 times 5 kilometers in marathon pace. So I'm quite excited to see how I will handle that training. It's Thursday morning and we are just about to head out and do the 4 times 5 kilometers. And because I've just woken up and don't really have time to digest a real breakfast, I will just eat a banana before we head out so I can get a bit of solid food in the stomach. Besides that, I'm going to consume one of these 320 drink mixes from Mountain. So I will consume 80 grams of carbohydrates throughout the training. And I will carry it in these small kind of water bottles that I will carry in a running belt. And then the remaining liquid that there wasn't any space to, I will just consume now during my activation work. "28 kilometers done in 1 hour and 51 minutes at a pace of 3 minutes and 57 seconds per kilometer. So because I didn't really have time to eat a real breakfast before the run this morning, after the run I try to refuel as much food as possible in my stomach. So to start off, I am of course having my usual oatmeal with cinnamon sugar on top, and then on the side of that, I will have a protein shake with some milk and a scoop of protein powder. And then to top it all off, I will also have a bagel that I just put a lot of honey on top, so I can really refuel with a lot of carbohydrates after this quite exhausting run. In an attempt to get enough calories in the system, especially on my session days, I always have snacks between each of my main meals. And for the first snack for today, I just made another bagel with some cheese on top. And then I also grabbed a handful of these crispy breads that I just made by myself. So just a quick and easy snack to get some energy in the system. It's been a few hours and now it's time to eat some lunch. And as you just saw, we made some rice with curry and then I mixed it with black beans. On top of that, I topped it with this homemade topping, which is just a mix of seeds and nuts and raisins and a little pinch of cinnamon. Then over here we have a couple of bell peppers just to get some vegetables in the system. And at last we have a couple of fillets of skippers to get some more protein and fatty fish as well. In extension of lunch, I just quickly wanted to give you a recap of the run that we did this morning. And as you know, we did 4 times 5 kilometers. And I must say that I'm pretty satisfied about the run that we did. The first 5 kilometers we did in 17 minutes and 51 seconds at an average pace of 3 minutes and 34 seconds. The second one was in 17 minutes and 54 seconds and a pace of 3 minutes and 35 seconds. The third interval was 18 minutes flat out at a pace of 3 minutes and 36 seconds. And the last 5 kilometer interval was 18 minutes and 7 seconds at an average pace of 3 minutes and 38 seconds. And the total average pace of all the 20 kilometers was a pace of 3 minutes and 36 seconds. So in terms of my current fitness, I am pretty satisfied about how I ran the run today. The only thing is that I did run the first interval 4 seconds faster pace than the last interval. So in a perfect world, I would really have liked to see that in reverse, where I kept a bit of my power in the first couple of intervals instead of losing pace throughout the run. But with that said, I am still quite satisfied about how the session turned out today. On top of that, I also quickly wanted to talk about the track sessions I did 2 days ago. And as some of you know, I am always down at the track on Tuesdays. And this Tuesday I did 10 times 1.2 kilometers. And this training I averaged a pace of 3 minutes and 25 seconds throughout all the 12 kilometers, which I'm quite satisfied with, especially because I did pace myself way better in this training, where I started the intervals in about 3 minutes and 28 seconds. And the 10th and last interval I did in an average pace of 3 minutes and 19 seconds. So going forward from here, I would much rather pace myself like I did on Tuesday morning throughout all the workouts in the week. On 2 out of 3 of my session days during the week, I always do a strength training program in the afternoon. And this way I can keep my hard days hard and my easy days easy. And my pre-strength training meal is just going to be whatever I really can find in my kitchen. And today it was just a couple of rice cakes with some honey on top and an apple. And this meal is actually just to get some extra calories in the system, so I can fuel my training, both what I did this morning, but also preparing for what I'm going to do tomorrow. Strength training complete. And now I wanted to show you what I will be eating for dinner. And personally, I like to eat my dinner quite early, so I have a good amount of time to digest the food before I head to sleep. And I also really like to eat a lot for dinner because I find it much easier to get a lot of calories in the end of the day, because I don't have any other plans, so I can just relax. And it doesn't matter that I maybe feel a bit heavy for the rest of the day, because I have nothing to do. And in terms of what I will be eating, I got a piece of salmon, some cauliflower, a couple of tomatoes, a bunch of pasta, and a couple of eggs. So a good combination of both fatty fish, protein, carbohydrates, and some vegetables. So now I will just eat this, and then I will see you later. I generally try to stay on the minimalistic side of supplement use, but as I've shown you throughout the day, I do use things like supplementary carbohydrates in the form of gels and drink mixes. And I also use protein powder in the morning to give a good shot of protein after my running sessions. On top of that, I've also just begun taking this Prilla Performance, which is a magnesium supplement that apparently supports muscle recovery and sleep. And I've just begun taking it, so I can't really say if it does anything for me yet. But if you're interested, I can update you in a later video about how I think about it. Besides that, I also wanted to talk a little bit about the main points that I think about when I choose what I eat throughout the day. And first of all, I would like to say that I do focus a lot on getting sufficient amount of protein every single day so I can recover from all the training. And in terms of the protein, I also try to split it evenly throughout all my meals. The second point is that I also try to eat fatty fish at least a couple of times every single week so I can get sufficient amounts of omega-3 in my diet. And the third point is that I just try to get a lot of carbohydrates when I ticked off the boxes of the first 2 points. Both before, during and after all my training, I just try to max out carbohydrates so I can really fuel all the training that I do. So after getting that off my chest, I really want to say that I hope that you enjoyed following me through a typical session day, and that you also learned just a little bit from my dieting approach. Besides that, the only thing that I have left to do is just that I want to wish you a great rest of the day. Take care.